What also might be some bomb stuff is the what the NBA commissioner, not the WNBA one, had to say about the WNBA. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said past week that the WNBA players will get a quote big increase, close quote, in salaries in their new collective bargaining agreement, but pointed to quote absolute numbers, close quote, as the way to measure that growth as opposed to share of revenue. On to today's show, Mr. Silver had this to say, quote, I think share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so much more revenue in the NBA. I think you should look at absolute numbers in terms of what they are making. They are going to get a big increase in this cycle of collective bargaining, and they deserve it. Close quote. The WNBPA, the union for the WNBA players, they opted out of the current collective bargaining agreement last year at this week's time, and has since been negotiating a new one with the current deal set to expire on Halloween.
Friday.
On an Instagram story, the WNBPA posted a clip of Silver's comments featuring him repeating on a loop saying, quote, I think share isn't the right way to look at it, close quote, and the caption saying, don't want to share, while tagging Silver. Now, your thoughts on the NBA commissioner weighing in on the WNBA players having a big increase, but basically saying, let's not look at it from the overall share of revenue.
I see where the commissioner's coming from in Adam Silver, because he's basically saying let's not focus on revenue sharing because the WNBA is not where the NBA level is at. So let's look at everything as a whole and let's put actual numbers together. And then let's project as the year continue to growing as a league to see if we can get to the NBA level, which is going to take forever. But
Look,
and plus, we both know Adam Silver is pro players anyway, so he's going to make sure he's going to do whatever he can to make sure the ladies get their money.
all right. That was a wonderful fine analysis, and I agree with all of what you said, especially the part where the NBA wasn't making money. They really didn't turn a hardcore profit, really, until 1984. I could say 1983, but 1984 for sure. And that was year number 39 of the league's existence. And only years before, they would tape delaying the finals. And the league was crying broke, and the owners were crying broke, and advertisers did not want to sink money into the product that looked like it was about to die before it had the boom that it did eventually have with Magic and Bird. Not Jordan, Kevin Garnett. Come on, son. You know the sport well enough. You're a good historian. How could you omit Bird and Magic before Jordan took it to the next level? Because you basically wanted to say my mic sounds nice with Michael Jordan.
Mm.
I digress.
Yeah,
What did I say?
I know how you get when stuff like that happens. So yeah,
Oh, wow. Now, the Mercury Satal Sabali had this to say about during the WNBA finals, the recent proposal from the league, saying that it makes the players feel as if, quote, we're not part of the growth of the league. If we continued with this CBA, we would percentage-wise go down on our compensation. Close quote. The league salary cap was a little bit over 1.5 million in 2025 with a super maximum of just under 250,000 and a minimum of just over 66,000.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. But the stat that I love that you always say about this, the WNBA has experienced growth the past few years with attendance, viewership, and merchandise sales, along with investment in franchise valuation soaring to new heights. 2.2 billion, not $1 billion, with that media deal that we're now on the cusp of beginning. But if the two sides do not come to an agreement by Halloween, they could agree to an extension which would allow them to continue bargaining, which they did for the last CBA, which was ultimately signed in January of 2020. Now, a new CBA must be done before a two-team expansion draft is held in Toronto for the Tempo and Portland, the Fire, and also must precede a free agency period where most of the league's veteran players are unrestricted free agents. So they still have business to take care of, and it could be destroyed or at least delayed greatly should this CBA not happen between now and say the winter. Hmm. But the players only make 9.3% of the overall revenue. I don't think the NBA players were making that small of amount of the pie, even back then. But I digress.